Hey everybody, this is Broken Star. Um, Here to talk about a personal Mandela effect. And I only call it personal Mandela effect because I seem to be the only one that's experienced this. And I'm talking about the band Pantera. And this has to do with the early years, before 1990, before Cowboys from Hell. And I've been a pretty big metal fan since high school, was about 17, 18 years ago for me. And I'm familiar with all their albums from the 90s, from Cowboys from Hell, Far Beyond Driven, Great Southern Trendkill, Vulgar Display of Power, the 101 Live Proof. And I remember all those albums. I remember their first major album being Cowboys from Hell in 1990. And I started getting into them probably in the late 90s. And by the time the 2000s hit, we had internet, and I would do discography searches of a lot of bands I liked, and I was into a lot of metal, and I do not remember these four earlier albums from Pantera from the 80s, which started with Metal Magic in 1983, and then that was followed up by Projects in the Jungle, 1984, and then in 1985 they released I Am the Night, and then 1988 they released an album called Power Metal. So I have, until about maybe about a month or two ago, maybe, I have never ever seen these albums before in my life. I never knew they existed. I mean, I knew Pantera obviously, had a history, but I don't remember these four prominent albums ever being part of their discography. I always remember it starting from Cowboys from Hell, and I'm pretty sure that I'm pretty sure these albums weren't around when I was younger. I don't know, just it's kind of far-fetched that I wouldn't know about it. I was pretty into these guys when they were bigger in the 90s. So who knows? Alright, well, I mean, you just look at some of these old pictures, none of it rings a bell to me. This 80s look that they got this whole hair metal thing going on. I listened to a little bit of them. I haven't listened to them all yet, but I listened to some of them. It's got a real like 80s hair metal kind of vibe to it. I mean, I could totally understand why they would separate themselves from this era as compared to their 90s sound. I mean, it doesn't really flow with their more recent style at all, so. But still, I mean, I think I would have caught wind of at least one of these albums in the last 20 years. And I don't know. I don't know if I'm alone on this Mandela effect, but this is 98%, 99% definitely a Mandela effect for me. I do not remember these four Pantera albums. I know there's been videos out there about some Doors albums that were released after Jim Morrison died that people haven't heard of, and think there's probably been some other Mandela effects that have been reported music-wise out there. But this is one that I noticed, and I haven't really heard anybody talk about it, so I don't know. I'm pretty sure it's a Mandela effect for me, so I don't know. Let me know what everybody else thinks. Um, I felt this Mandela effect about a year ago, last July. It's coming up on a year ago. World geography changes, everything, the whole 9 yards. And this is probably one of the first personal Mandela effects that I've found for myself that I haven't really heard anybody else talk about. So I'm just putting this out there, seeing what everybody else thinks. And let me know. Comment in the comment section below. Alright then. Everybody have a good night.